Hello, hello, beautiful souls of this community. Welcome to day 3 of learning all about sprouts. So yes, today we're on day 3. My name is Lori Voss and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to be here sharing this beautiful life force giving information with you. So we've already talked about why you should eat sprouts, different equipment that you need for sprouting, and how to actually get the sprouts growing in your kitchen in the best way possible. And now today I'm going to share with you the different ways we can eat them. Before we get going, if you're here viewing this live, just type in hashtag live. It lets other people know that I'm here. And if you're watching this on a replay, you can just type in hashtag replay, also letting people know that this video is out there for them. And also let me know where you're viewing from, because I love to see that we connect with people really from around the world. So today, just going to show you a little bit. I'm facing actually the other way in my kitchen today because I noticed that my light, one of the light bulbs blew this morning, and it's a special kind of light, so I have to wait for my lovely husband to get home to change it. So I'm facing this way so we can get better light for me and for you. But that allowed me to show you now the other part of my kitchen, which yesterday I talked about walnuts and I showed you one of these big glass jars. And I also have all my whole grains sitting in here. So here, for example, is brown rice. So when I'm ready to eat it, I just do the soaking process at night and then I can have it. Usually I'm eating whole grains for breakfast, but that's for another live that we can talk about if you're interested. I also always keep here I have now, yesterday I had the mung beans in one tray. I've moved them to two trays now because they're growing and expanding, so they need a little bit more room. And I have also here the buckwheat sprouts that are still sprouting from yesterday. And actually, they're really good. I don't know if you guys can see how amazing that is. A little bit hard maybe in the video, but I noticed actually this morning, they could have been ready for eating already. They already had a tail growing. So that was, essentially ready for the sprouting, for the pancake recipe that I want to use them for, but I already had something else ready for breakfast. So I thought it's okay, I'll let them sprout and they will still be for tomorrow. But I think because the weather warmed up a little bit in the spring, the sprouting time changes. So when it's cooler weather, if your house is cooler, it's going to take a little bit, a couple more days to get the sprouts growing. But when you have warmer weather, summertime temperatures, these kinds of things, you're going to have a faster sprout. And then I just want to show you how my little sprouts here is coming along. This was my experiment with the microgreens. So this one was the Chinese cabbage, it's coming. And this one was the red beets. They're also growing as well. And it did say that both of these not exactly a recipe, both of these types of seeds take about 8 to 10 days to actually get enough that you can have the microgreens for growing. So yeah, those ones are just there. I just want to show you because we talked about them quite a few times. One thing I wanted to mention that is actually more in alignment with yesterday's session that I forgot was the sprouting water. So if you are, or the soaking water. So when you, after soaking any of the whole foods, whole grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, or the seeds for actually sprouting, though that water that it's sitting in that bowl, you can reuse that water for other plants in your house or for your garden outside. That water is really like nutrient dense for our plants. Your plants will love it. So you can actually reuse that water. If you're also concerned about wasting water with all the water that's necessary for the rinsing and the soaking process, that's one way to go about mitigating some of the wastage. And also your plants are going to be happy. Guarantee that one. And another thing I didn't mention, I did make myself notes today because I was really making sure I wanted to catch all the pieces. I didn't talk yesterday about this jar sprouting, so you've probably seen it on some videos, maybe yes, maybe no, or seen it also, these jars that you can buy. Like I say, mostly organic shops are selling them, these kinds of sprouting materials or equipment. And I don't personally use those sprouting jars or make my own because I've seen also videos where you can make your own. The reason why I don't do it is because for me, there's too much opportunity for bacteria growth to happen in them, because it's basically a jar with, you put all your seeds in, and I think you probably let the seeds soak still overnight, for example, in the water, then rinsing them and keeping everything just in the jar, and you just rinse and then drain that way. But for me, it just seems like, because usually there's like, it can be like this much packed full of just seeds in there. And it just feels like there's too much opportunity for mold and bacteria to grow in there that I wouldn't be able to see, as opposed to when I'm actually rinsing it with the strainer and using the protocol that I showed you yesterday. So if you were curious about that, that's why I don't do that one, and I don't practice it either. But like I say, I'm just giving you the information. You can do what feels best for you. Now, on to the real juicy deliciousness of today's topic, the different ways that we can eat sprouts. And this is where I really thought about, I want to make notes because I really want to make sure that I tell you all the ways that I do eat sprouts without forgetting any of them, because there's so many beautiful ways to consume these amazing life force providing foods. They're just so powerful. We really want to find all the ways possible to incorporate them into our kitchen once we start sprouting. There's no reason not to. So of course, if you're making sprouts like this little ones, like just these are, for example, some mung beans, you can just put the sprouts when they're ready onto a salad, onto any dish really that's on your plate, just sprinkling a few on top. That's like the most simple, basic way to consume sprouts. You could also make, of course, like a sprout salad, putting the sprouts together with different, for example, purple onions, some other vegetables like that as well, and just having majority of your salad being sprouts. That's another possibility. If your digestion is sensitive for eating raw foods, you could also cook your sprouts. The best way that I would promote to cook them is by steaming them, or a light water saute. When we fry things or when we use higher heat, we're losing the digestibility of the sprouts, and we're also losing a large portion of the nutritional content in the sprouts. So definitely steaming if you are going to cook your sprouts, or like I say, a light water saute. Now, if you are going to sprout something like chickpeas, which that's where I would suggest using a bigger glass Pyrex dish like this, so you can soak, rinse, and lay your chickpeas out in a dish like this, and then allow them to sprout. Chickpeas don't actually take that long, depending on the quality of the chickpea that you have, but generally within 2 days, 2 to 3 days, I'm usually seeing the little tails starting to grow. And as soon as the tails start to come, pretty much that they're sprouted. But you can also leave it a little bit longer. You just don't want to leave it like super long, so they're starting to have like leaves already growing from the chickpeas, and this is getting to the next level of that seed's life. So it's a different story. So we don't want to wait usually that long. It also changes the taste and the texture. I usually make sprouted chickpeas, and then once they're done the sprouting process and I'm content with how big the sprouts are, I boil them, and I usually do like a batch cooking. I'll cook the chickpeas. Usually chickpeas require 45 minutes to an hour or so of boiling on the stove. And then the chickpeas are done. You can do whatever you want with them. I usually will save some for that day's consumption, and I'll put some in jars as well and put them in the freezer. So it's like a serving size in the freezer that I could take out to add to a meal or to make a different dish with. So you could also make in that way with those sprouted chickpeas, you can make sprouted hummus. And it just means that your hummus is that much more nutritionally powerful. Again, it's not necessary, but it's like, why not, right? Why not? So in that sense, you can also sprout different types of beans. All beans basically can be sprouted. If you have a batch of beans that is not sprouting, that probably means that your beans are not very fresh. However, majority of stuff that we're buying in the supermarkets or at the shops is okay. But yes, for example, when I make the Brazilian dish feijão or a black bean dish, I'm always sprouting my beans first of all, and then I just cook everything in the pot. And it increases the digestibility for us and increasing the nutritional power. So it's like, why not, right? Yes, so as well with the mung beans that I showed you earlier here, like I say, you can eat those essentially raw, putting them on your salad, but you can also make a beautiful mung bean soup that's super lovely, super healthy, super powerful as well. Like I said, it's mung bean soup, but when you have sprouted mung beans, level up, right? So that's what we want. I also mentioned with the buckwheat that I have here sprouting, I'm going to make sprouted buckwheat pancakes. So with that recipe, I don't add any actual flour to the recipe. It is in the sprouted buckwheat, and I don't dry it out. I mix everything in the blender. If you're interested in some of these recipes or some of these ideas that I'm sharing with you, let me know in the comments, and I can get back to you with how I manage it or how I make it, and share the recipes with you. Also, generally buckwheat is pretty easy to sprout in general. So any meal that you want to include or that you already include buckwheat in, just take that extra couple steps and sprout them first, and then just cook the buckwheat normally like you would. Now you have, again, level up of your buckwheat power. This also works really well for quinoa. Quinoa sprouts really easily. Usually one day, not a problem for quinoa to go. It's just a tiny little grain and it goes really easily. Brown rice can also be sprouted, but it takes a little bit longer. It's a little bit more finicky. There's more opportunity for brown rice to therefore have a bacteria or mold growth in it. You have to be more careful because it takes longer to sprout. So that means you're doing this waiting process on your countertop and having to rinse every morning and night. And the more days that we do that, naturally, it's giving more opportunity for bacteria and contamination to happen, even when we are practicing clean practices and hygiene in our kitchen, right? And that's why I made my notes today. And another one is if you do juicing, if you make your own fresh juices, you can also add sprouts to your juices. They have also pack a powerful punch in there. Now, the sprouts themselves don't give a lot of juice, so it's just like you add them as a supplement, as a power food into the juice. You don't generally, I've added them many times and never tasted it because there's ginger and lemon and all these other powerful flavors in my juices when I do it. But definitely sprouts can be added and they're powerful. Sprouts, and I say sprouts quite loosely. It's also, I'm referring to micrograins in the same way. Microgreens. Microgreens. Sorry about that. And pretty much all sprouts can be eaten raw, except bigger ones. So when you think about the beans, like, or peas, like if you have green peas, I think there's green peas that we can sprout as well, although I've never done it. But chickpeas and adzuki beans, these black beans that I mentioned, different white beans, pinto beans, all these ones, they need to be cooked before eaten. They are having a higher or a more challenging protein in them that doesn't work for our bodies to eat them raw. It's not good. So we want to avoid that. So it's best to cook those ones first. I think that's pretty much everything about the beans and the sprouts that I want to share with you. Like I mentioned before, if you have any questions about today's information or any of the information that I've shared so far, put in the comments or send me a direct message, because chances are if you're thinking about it, there's other people that are thinking about it as well. And we want to make it a clear explanation for you and get you in the sprouting game so you can have that powerhouse in your kitchen, really, because there's no reason why you shouldn't, in your kitchen and in your body. And before I go, I would like to say I'm really impressed with myself because I'm on time today in terms of getting the information out to you in this 15 minutes. I wanted to just share with you a quick little bit of information here about a program that is coming up. It starts on March 27th. So that's next Wednesday. It's not very far away. It's a 4-week interactive online program that is specific for detoxification and meditation. So what you are learning here today with the sprouts is actually, like, in some respect, the opposite of detoxification. It doesn't mean that you're toxifying your body. In terms of life force nutrition and TCM, which is what I practice and preach to all yous, is that we want to have that life force nutrition that's going to bring our strength. It's going to provide healing and warmth in our body. So sprouts are doing that. They provide us with an internal strength and internal power. And when we detox, we are removing everything, basically, right? We're getting rid of all the junk. Now, the sprouting is part of, if you're making sprouts, like I say, you can actually use them in your detox because they're still powerful. So in your juices, but they're also an amazing piece of what needs to be really consumed after you're done detoxing. So this is part of the process for you to get started already if you're really serious about taking control of your health and taking these steps to get yourself self-empowered in your kitchen for making yourself healthy today and for the rest of your life. So yes, back to the detox course. So the detox course, we're going to talk about the different detox protocols. I'm going to debunk a lot of myths. I'm going to give you simple detox protocol to follow that's really easy and doable and doesn't have a lot of confusion, doesn't require a lot of equipment, doesn't require a lot of special foods or special potions. Although you do need a juicer if you're really going to do a juice fast. Yes, I recommend it. However, when we also do the detoxing, we need to think about, like I mentioned, the maintenance, how we can bring our life force back up after detoxification. So I talk also about the foods that we need in our body after detoxing and what's going to be best for reintroducing and how to maintain that balance. But there's also a component of, sorry, I just lost myself here. One moment. I said the maintenance, detoxing protocols, maintaining balance. There was something else that was in my head. Ah, my gosh, there it is, right? That's why I wrote it down today. I knew there was so much good stuff I wanted to share with you. Daily detox methods. So we don't actually have to go on a dry fast or a water fast or even necessarily a juice fast in order to have detoxification benefits. There's different foods and things that we can consume, and the way we consume them can also help us detox on a regular basis, still having energy for our daily work, but we are actually detoxing. So I will definitely be discussing that as well. And the reason the course is combined detox and meditation is because when we meditate, we clean the garbage out of our mind. We clean that energy component. It's not only physical. We are not only physical on this planet. We have an energetic component. So when we do the meditation pieces throughout the 4 weeks, we help to flush all of the garbage out of our system. Okay. In this program, you will have Voxer support from me. If you're not familiar with that, it's kind of just like walkie-talkie kind of app, so you can reach me basically anytime. Of course, not when I'm sleeping. I'm not going to respond to you then, but you can reach out to me and ask me any questions. What do I do with this? I forgot to do this. How do I do this? What do I do with this grain? How do I make sprouts again? Whatever your questions are, you're going to have me on support out of the class time. The class time, we're going to meet once a week for 1 hour. And like I say, you have that Voxer support for the whole 4 weeks that we're together to be able to contact each other. And was there anything else? I don't think so. The course is starting soon. It's starting on March 27th, so it's not very far away. If it's something you're interested in, let me know, because I am more than happy to provide the information with you. And if you're not sure if it's for you, we can talk about that as well. I hope this information finds you well. I hope you enjoyed this 3-day sprouting journey with me. It's been my greatest pleasure to share this information with you. I feel really passionate about the work that I do and sharing it with others, particularly if you're interested in it. If you're not, well, you might be in the wrong group. No, just kidding. It's all good. Sending you lots of love and hugs, and looking forward to hearing from you soon. Take care and bye for now.